Hello everyone and welcome to EduSurge Clinic's Small Talk series where we discuss some key clinical topics in surgery in your day-to-day practice. Our today's topic is a very routinely asked question, which is how to classify gastrointestinal stomas. So we all have seen stomas in our day-to-day practice, probably created also. But when it comes to exam, there is very limited structured material available for stomas. So this is our effort to provide a structure to gastrointestinal stomas. And the first part is classifying them. So stomas can be classified in different types based on their function or their site, their duration, continence mechanism, and so on. So, to summarize, stomas can be classified based on the site or the part of the gut which is used as a stoma, duration for which the stoma is created, whether it is for life or whether it is for a few months, function of the stoma, that is, why is the stoma created, and anatomy of the stoma. Apart from this, there is a very important point by which you can classify stomas, and that is based on continence. So let us see each of these one by one. So based on the site of the gut that is used, a stoma can be a cervical esophagostomy. That is, esophagus is brought out in the neck, which can be through a tube esophagostomy or a cutaneous esophagostomy. This is usually done in cases of upper corrosive strictures. Then stomach as a stoma is gastrostomy. Duodenum is duodenostomy, and these are tube stomas. Intestinal stomas can be jejunostomy, which usually gives a very high output dark green effluent, ileostomy, and colostomy. Colostomy will usually give formed fecal matter unless there is stoma diarrhea, whereas ileostomy will give dark green semi-solid effluent. So a structure like this on the skin, as shown in the figure, is a pouting stoma, which is usually a small intestinal stoma, whereas a stoma which is flush to the skin is a large intestinal stoma. So this is the classification based on the site of the gut that is used. Now we go on to classifying stomas based on the duration. And here the stomas can be divided into temporary stomas, which are usually done to protect the anastomosis or to tide over the disease duration. Most commonly seen in India is for perforation peritonitis due to typhoid or tuberculosis, where you bring out the perforated part as a stoma till the disease is treated. So these stomas are temporary stomas. Also, the Hartmann procedure that is done is also a kind of temporary stoma, as you can reverse the stoma later on. On the other end, when there is no distal lumen left, the stoma that is created is usually a permanent stoma. For an example, after abdominoperineal excision of rectum or total proctocolectomy, the bowel loop that is brought out is for life, and hence it is a permanent stoma. Based on functionality, that is, why is the stoma created? A stoma can be created for diversion of fecal stream to protect the anastomosis, such as distal ileotransverse anastomosis or a low colorectal anastomosis, or it can be diverted to exclude an obstructed system. For example, a distal mass which cannot be resected at the moment. The second kind of stoma is a defunctioning stoma, and this is usually done when there is a distal diseased bowel, which is a non functioning part of the intestine, and hence you give a defunctioning stoma to give bowel rest to that part of the gut. This is usually seen as in cases of abdominal tuberculosis or typhoid. Next is the types based on stoma anatomy, as in the structure and parts of the stoma. This can be an end stoma where only one loop is brought out, and these are usually permanent stomas, which are end stomas, or temporary stoma, as in Hartmann operation, is also an end stoma. The second is a loop stoma. For example, in typhoid and tuberculosis perforation, when you bring out the perforated end, or in cases when you want to divert, such as ileotransverse anastomosis diversion or low colorectal anastomosis diversion, you bring out the transverse colon or the ileostomy as a loop stoma. The benefit of loop temporary stomas is that you can close the stomas very easily without the need of an complete laparotomy. The third stoma anatomy is a double barrel stoma where the two intestinal ends are separate after resection, but you bring both of them out together so as to avoid a laparotomy during stoma closure. So that is why these types of stomas are done. Next is based on continence mechanism. Though a continent stoma is not routinely done, you should know this, as it is asked in classification, that a continent ileostomy or a Cox pouch is done wherein the stoma has a sphincter mechanism. However, this does not have good long-term outcomes and is not routinely performed. All stomas for practical purposes are non-continent, Brooks end ileostomy or loop ileostomy. So this is type of stomas based on continence mechanism. So to summarize, now when you are asked classification of gastrointestinal stomas, you can divide the classification based on the site of the stoma, duration, that is temporary or permanent, function, that is diversion or defunction, and stoma anatomy, which is endostoma, loop stoma, and double barrel stoma, as well as based on continence mechanism. So this gives you a summary of the different gastrointestinal stoma types that you will encounter in your practice. I hope you enjoyed this small talk. Do subscribe to our channel to enjoy more such small talk series. Thank